Shavuos3, we'd like to say something on Shavuos3. It says in the Shavuos3 that Ruth went out to the fields to glean ears of grain in order to provide sustenance to both her and her mother-in-law, Naomi. She came to a field that happened to belong to Boaz, who was related, and asked Rishus, she asked permission if she could glean the ears of grain, and Boaz gave her permission. Not only he gave her permission, he gave her the royal treatment. He said she shouldn't go elsewhere, she could drink water too. And Ruth was taken by Boaz's kindness toward her. And the Pasuk says in Ruth's Beis, Pasuk Yud, that Ruth said, Madua matzosi chen be'einecha? Why have I found favor in your eyes? Lahakireni, that you should take notice of me, even though I am a foreigner, I'm a stranger. Vayan Boaz. Boaz answered, Vayomer lo, and he said to her, Hugad li, it has been reported to me, Kol asher asis es chamoisech, all that you have done for your mother-in-law since your husband's death. Vatazvi avich v'imech, how you left your father and mother and the land of your birth, and you converted and went vatelchi elam asher lo yadat mitmel shloshim. You went to a people that you have never known before. So Boaz recognized the goodness, the greatness of Ruth, that she went and gleaned in fields to support herself and her mother-in-law, Naomi, and also the fact that she was bold enough to convert and to abandon, to leave your father and mother and the land of your birth, and went to a people you had never known before. That's the simple pasuk. The Targum gives us new insight into this pasuk. The Targum says that when Boaz said, you did two great things, it's more than meets the eye. The Targum says, V'is amor olai b'nevuah. I had a prophecy. Boaz was a prophet. I had a prophecy. Da'asidin l'meifak minoch malkin unevian, that there's destined to issue from you, you will have kings and prophets that are destined to issue from you. Begin tivusa, because of the goodness that you did with your mother-in-law, that you supported her after your husband died. And another thing that you did was that you abandoned, you converted, you left your people, you left your father, you left your mother, you left your land where you were born, and you converted to a people that were totally foreign to you. There are two great things that she did. And these are the two reasons that Boaz was so kind to her. And the question is, what kind of, how can you utter these two reasons in the same breath? The fact that she converted, especially she was the daughter of a king, Eglon Melech Moab. She was the daughter. She was a princess. She had a life of wealth if she would have wanted it. And she gave it all up because she wanted to be a Frum Yid. She wanted to be like Naomi. So she really gave up a lot. It was really Mesiras Nefesh. She gave up so very much. And another thing that she did, she supported her mother-in-law. She went gleaning for ears of corn in the fields. How could you utter these two in the same breath? The fact that she converted and gave up wealth to live a life of poverty, that's a great act. That's Mesiras Nefesh. That's sacrifice. But the fact that she went and gleaned ears in the field to support her mother-in-law and herself, I mean, that many people do that. If something goes wrong in a family and one of the family members needs support, others go out to help. I mean, that's not an act that's equal at all to the act of her conversion. How does Boaz say in the same breath that you converted and you also went to help your mother-in-law? This is very puzzling. Very puzzling. How could they both be the same thing? Meiri v'Rebbe Hagoyin Reb Henach Zecher Tzadik Livrocha says that maybe from here we see a new revelation. That when Ruth went to glean in the fields and to support her mother-in-law and herself, this became equal to the sacrifice that she did when she converted. Apparently, she must have done it with all her heart and all her soul and all her care that her mother-in-law should have what to eat. She did it with such a leiv sholem, with a full heart, that when a person does even a mundane act of chesed, a simple act of chesed, of helping somebody that's in need, and many family members do it to other family members, and it doesn't seem to be so much greatness involved in that. But apparently, if a person does it with all their heart and all their soul, in order to help somebody, to help Naomi, that elevates the mundane and simple act of kindness to be equal to an act of Mesiras Nefesh. So perhaps we can learn from here that we have opportunities to do chesed and to do small acts of kindness. It may be a simple act, but if we do it with our full hearts, it can become elevated to be equal to an act of Mesiras Nefesh, one of the greatest Mesiras Nefesh that we see, that she abandoned everything, she abandoned wealth to live a life of poverty in order to be a Frum Yid. A simple act of chesed can be elevated to be on the same level, and that's why Boaz mentioned these two things. That was my prophecy. I had a prophecy that these two things that you did, and because of that you will be zeicha, that Malkin unevian asiden lemefak minoch. The whole Malchus Beis David came from her. Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to be one of the descendants of Rus. So we have tremendous opportunity in the simple, mundane things to do it with the idea and of helping the other person, to do it with a full heart, and that can elevate that simple act to become an act equal to one of the greatest acts of Mesiras Nefesh that there ever was. We should be zeicher to utilize the opportunity to do chesed, to do simple chesed even, but to do it properly. And in that schus will be zeicher to have to our credit something equal to an act of Mesiras Nefesh. We should be zeicher to this. Amen v'amen.